there she is on the outside, already edging ahead. On the inside there, Jill Clark in the yellow vest of Sheffield, wearing number 4. Wearing number 3, Carol Bradford of Clevedon. Carol's running well this year, but already you can see that Zola Budd is taking the race by the scruff of the neck and going straight ahead. Debbie Peel we've talked about before, now coming into 4th place, 3 times women's 3A's champion. But it's Zola Budd from Jill Clark, Carol Bradford and Debbie Peel. And Wendy, this undoubtedly is probably the way Zola likes to run best, right out on her own, uninhibited, running free.
Yes, I think that was evident from her run in Edinburgh on Tuesday. Once she got into the lead, really, there was no touching her at all. And she's definitely gone straight in front here with quite a fast pace. The wind has dropped somewhat, so I don't think she's going to have too much trouble with the wind. And she may even be going after my British record here, I think.
Well, that would be certainly something to keep our eyes on. Certainly the championship best of 8:52.3 by Chris Benning is well within her sight. She now goes through 400 metres in 67.87. So quite quick, but I think that's just a little bit under the pace, Wendy, that's needed for a British record.
No, well, that's a very fast first lap, actually, but we'll see whether she suffers for that later in the race, because the breeze on that top bend seems to have picked up again.
If you were in this race now, would you be wanting to blaze out ahead if you were that much better than the rest of the field, or would you be tucking in behind the other runners?
Well, I think it depends really on your objective. I think Zola is best, obviously, when she's out in front, and she must be trying to run a pretty fast time today. Perhaps to prove to all her critics that despite her defeat against Mary Slaney last Saturday, that she's still a very good runner. I think if you're merely going for the win, then the main objective today would be to stay out of the wind for as long as possible. But I think Zola's obviously trying to run as fast as she can, despite the conditions.
And that is, she's opened up now a lead of some 25 metres on Jill Clark in 2nd place, leading Carol Bradford, the 2 yellow-vested runners. And Zola now passes 800 metres in 2 minutes 17.74. So the second lap, Wendy, slowed up just a little bit, 70 seconds.
Yes, I think she'll be trying to maintain 70-second laps perhaps for the rest of the race. Obviously with the thought of putting in a good fast last lap to end up with a fast time for the day. Really, there's not much point in entering this type of race with such slack competition without going out for some objective, and her objective today must be, I think, to produce a fast time.
The crowd very enthusiastic indeed about supporting this fine run by Zola, just past the 1,000 metres, 2 minutes 52.94, so only just outside record schedule. My maths on the first lap were a little bit out, because really you need 69-second lapping throughout to get the record. But now you can see that she's opening up a longer and longer lead, something like 35 or 40 metres between the 2 runners tracking her. Carol Bradford, who's now just overtaken Jill Clark, and already some almost half the length of the back straight Zola Budd has over those 2, and then another 20 metres back to the next run. So magnificent display of solo running here for Zola Budd, and so often that's the case, except in the very, very highest class. 3 minutes 27.71, so another 70-second lap, and already she's down to this metronomic-like pace of 70-second laps.
Yeah, she looks so different when she's out on her own. It's quite amazing, really. She looks a completely different runner to that of a week ago when she ran against Mary Slaney. Somehow she became a little bit belittled, I think, against that field of world-class competition. And here she's just getting into her stride and, as you say, running even 70-second laps.
When is it difficult at this stage of the race? She's already well clear. She must be on the way to victory. Is it difficult to maintain concentration?
Well, Zola's very used to this type of running. When she was in South Africa, this was the way she ran, and this is the way she ran her best time. So this is how she's best, I think. And it's when she's against close competition that it seems to inhibit her somewhat.
What she isn't doing, it seems, at the moment, is running the sharper distances, the 800 metres and 1500 metres. I know you've always, when you've been running, tended to mix distances, right from 800 up to 10,000. Do you think she should be doing more of that?
Well, I think one of her downfalls that we've seen, I think, recently is her finish, and perhaps it would have been nice for her to race against Christina in the 1500, which may have caused defeat for Zola, but then, again, might have improved some of her sharpness.
Or even in the 800 with Christina?
Well, yes. I think Christina was looking to run against Zola in the 1500, and Zola obviously changed her mind at the last minute and decided to enter the 3. but it would have been good for her to have close competition, I think.
Well, there's Zola Budd, and we just saw before, she's now something like 60 metres ahead of those two sticking together, Carol Bradford and Jill Clark. 3 laps to go for Zola Budd, who passed the 4th lap in 70.6, so steadily turning out 72nd laps and gradually going further and further away from his field. The next two, Carol Bradford just leading Jill Clark, and those two have got a gap of something like 50 metres over Debbie Peel, number 11, and Lynn Harvey, number 9. So it's Zola Budd all out on her own, coming up to 5 laps completed, the 2,000-metre point. And actually she's running well under 9-minute pace. She's passing 2,000 metres now, and the clock stops at 5 minutes 50.36. A slightly slower second kilometre to first kilometre. We'll look back now to see just how far back the next two are, Carol Bradford and Jill Clark. As they're coming round this top bend now, they're running into a very strong wind. The flag just above them, straight out you can see, and they're really having to buckle down and work hard into that race. Zola Budd now running more freely along the home straight as she comes up to 2 laps to go. So just 2 laps to go for Zola Budd, in the colours of Aldershot Farnham District, with a lead of 80 metres now from Carol Bradford of Clevedon, 23-year-old former UK 1500-metre champion, and she's got about 5 metres ahead of Jill Clark. So it's all Zola Budd out on her own against the clock, as always it seems in these domestic class races, looking for her first women's 3/8 title.
Well, I don't think this is really too surprising given the field here today, but Zola's really stretching out a fine lead, almost 100 metres I think now.
How do you think she'll fare in the European Cup final though, Wendy?
Well, it'll be very interesting I think. The races that she's run so far this year would probably suggest that she'll have a little bit of trouble with the competition. Not so much the standard, but with actually being in a tight competitive race. But it'll be very good experience for her, and the type of experience that I think she needs.
In fact, she's just slowing up a little bit after those early laps of 67 first lap, then 70 seconds. She's on a 72 and a 73, and now looks to be perhaps just outside the pace for championship best. She goes through the bell in 7 minutes 40.44, so she needs a 72-second lap, which is certainly within her capabilities, to get Chris Benning's championship best set 7 years ago, back in 1978.
I remember that race very well actually, Chris Benning setting that time. It'll be almost certain I think that Zola Budd is going to run faster than 8:52 here, especially if she produces a better last lap than she has been recently. You can see now that once she's away and on her own, she just seems to really flow.
A long way back in second place there is Carol Bradford, and Zola Budd has increased the pace, 71.5 the last lap, so certainly if she maintains that, she's going to get the championship best. Here she comes, great support from the crowd, all clapping this very, very talented athlete as she comes in to win her first women's 3/8 outdoor title, to add to the indoor one she won at 1,500 metres. Zola Budd getting a great reception from the crowd here in Birmingham, and indeed she's broken the championship best, her winning time 8 minutes 50.5. Fine run.